In this video, we're going to talk about the brush tool. And the brush tool is a pretty straightforward tool. It is used to pretty much draw on layers that you already have, or you can create new layers when using your brush tool. So you're going to find that over here in your tools panel. I have it selected here. And right now I have it just preset to the simplest brush that there is. And so you can see that's just a plain circle. It's got its full hardness and there's no, stroke to it or anything like that. It's just a simple brush. And so some quick things to know when using this, your bracket tools, your bracket keys on your keyboard allow you to pretty easily change the size of your brush instead of having to go up here and mess with this little slider bar and get the right size and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of easier to just use your bracket keys. Um, and another tip too, if you're wanting to draw straight lines, something simple to do is to just shift, click, and drag. And it doesn't matter how much I move my mouse around, it's still only going to draw a straight line for me. So those are some helpful tips. Just using your brush tool as a general basic tool. Another thing that you can use when doing your brushes is say you change your colors and you draw some different shapes and kind of get to going, and then you realize that you don't really like it. Add some blue in there. You're just not really liking your design. So up here on my histories panel, this little arrow with the 3 cubes here, I can go back, and rather than undoing, it just allows me to select at whatever points that it remembers the history of my drawing being at. So that's something helpful as well. So there's definitely more to the brushes than just this simple little tool that I have set here. So I'm going to go back to my original page here using my history panel. And up here on my top, top toolbar, I'm going to select on this little folder with the brushes on it. And then my brush settings box is going to pop up over here. And as you can see here, there are a ton of preset brushes that Photoshop already has loaded. So say I want to have, looks kind of like a paint splatter. So something like that. There's like strokes, sponges, all kinds of stuff. So I know a lot of girls and guys that when they're trying to make their cover pages for their portfolios, or just kind of add something abstract to text or an image, this is kind of a cool way to do that as well, because there's all kinds of different brushes and stuff. Another thing to know too is when you're using all these different types of brushes, sometimes you don't necessarily want it to come in the way that it's rotated. So using your arrow keys, you're able to kind of rotate, and you can see on my screen that this is rotating this brush orientation. So it kind of gives you a different look. That way it's not just an exact imprint of everything that you've been doing. And this is changing colors is easy. I normally just double click on my color picker down here, and then it brings me up to this tab where I can change the colors of my brushes. And so some cool stuff in here. Feel free to kind of mess around with it. There's a lot of different brushes. I know this one kind of looks like leaves. So if you make it green, make it bigger. They even have those little like indentation things that you can kind of tell they look like leaves. So that's kind of cool. Another thing I want to show you guys is how to import brushes. So if you're not satisfied with what Photoshop already has and you want to go to the internet to find some different brushes, I'm going to set this back to my normal one real quick. You want to go back to your history Untitled first page as well. So just cleaning that up. So like I said, importing brushes, I'm going to just go to Google, and I had just searched free brushes Photoshop download. I clicked on this first Brush Easy free Photoshop brushes download, and I downloaded this Painter 3 Photoshop brushes right here. There's a ton of different free brushes here, but I'm not going to click on it because I've actually already downloaded it to my computer and I don't want to download it again. So um, once you click on that, it'll download, and then I moved mine to my desktop. And so um, when we come back to Photoshop, in order to import those brushes, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to make sure that my brush tool is selected. And when I click this drop down to edit my brushes in this panel up here, I get this little settings bar, and I'm going to click on settings, and then I'm going to go to import brushes. And these are the brushes that I had said I downloaded earlier, the Free Painter Brushes 3, and so I'm going to click that, load, and then really nothing is going to happen on your screen. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go, I have my panels over here, so you go to your brush settings, and then, sorry, not brush settings, go to your brushes. And then you can see down here this new folder, this Free Painter Photoshop Brushes 3. This is what I had downloaded, and now it's underneath my brushes in an entirely new folder. And you can see there's a ton of different painting brushes here. So I'm just going to click on this one and see what it looks like. Wow, that's really big. I'm going to change the color. I mean it to be like a purple color. And there. So that's super cool. I'm sure there's a ton of different kinds in here as well. So, and like I said, it doesn't have to be, you know, a paint effect. It can be anything you guys want it to. But that is how you would import brushes, and just some general tips and tricks about using your brush tool in Photoshop.